Let me tell you how this works. Number one, these people charge a pretty decent amount of money. Honestly, they usually charge about the same amount of money as you would pay to a lawyer if you were going to get a real lawyer to get your case filed. But what they do is the case is usually set up to fail from like day one.
Welcome to the Bankruptcy Podcast, a podcast about untangling the complex world of bankruptcy in Georgia. Each week, we deliver the best insights and practical advice on how to navigate the legal waters of bankruptcy with expert guidance and real-life stories. Now here's your host, Jeff Kelly.
Hello, this is Jeff Kelly. And in today's episode, I want to talk about document preparation specialist. Now, there are companies out there who will advertise, hey, come to us, pay us a little bit of money, and we will prepare your documents so that you can file a bankruptcy case and not have to waste so much money on a lawyer. Great idea, right? No, terrible idea. So let me tell you how this works. Number one, these people charge a pretty decent amount of money. Honestly, they usually charge about the same amount of money as you would pay to a lawyer if you were going to get a real lawyer to get your case filed. But what they do is the case is usually set up to fail from like day one. And so let me give you an example of a person who this recently happened to. And fortunately, in this specific case, we're going to be able to file a new case and get it right the second go around. But usually, the people who pay money to document preparation specialists to file their bankruptcy case for them, you would think they would be like the dumbest of the dumb kind of people. They're not. They're usually like high wage earners, people who have a lot of assets, but they're just really cheap and they just don't want to pay a lawyer. And they're smart enough to know a little bit, but stupid enough to try to file a bankruptcy case without an attorney. So the case that I actually just recently spoke with, this lady was facing a foreclosure. And a lot of people will wait until the very last second before they even consider filing a Chapter 13 to stop a foreclosure. Bad idea, by the way. You've got plenty of notice when your house is getting foreclosed. The mortgage companies are required to advertise for 4 consecutive weeks before the foreclosure date, so it's not a surprise. So if you've got a foreclosure coming up, don't wait till the last second to call an attorney. Don't do it. And the people who usually are the conduits to the document preparation specialist are realtors. Now, I love realtors, but if you're a realtor, do not, do not ever, ever, ever refer somebody to a document specialist to get a bankruptcy case filed. Because let me tell you what's going to play out in the case I just spoke with. We're going to file a new case. We're going to list the name of the person who illegally prepared the petition and illegally gave legal advice. And we're also going to have to list the name of the realtor that referred my client to the crook/document preparation specialist.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. If you're intrigued by the world of bankruptcy and want a comprehensive guide to help you get out of debt, head on over to kellycanhelp.com/welcome and subscribe to our email list to have a guide to bankruptcy in Georgia, helping people get out of debt delivered right to your inbox. Now back to the show.
So anytime you pay money to an attorney to get a case filed, whether 13-7, whatever, all the money has to go toward the filing fee first. And oftentimes If the case is complicated, or if it's got a motion to extend stay, or if it's a self-employed case or some extenuating circumstances, we're going to charge some of those attorneys' fees up front. But what document preparation specialists do, because they're not attorneys and their goal is to just get as much money out of you as they possibly can, they'll keep all of the money, which is a violation of the bankruptcy code, by the way, and tell you to finance your case with the bankruptcy court. And so they don't pay the filing fee. So that's what happened in this case. This lady, her filing fee was done on installments. She didn't even know the total cost of the filing fee. She made a payment toward the filing fee as she was instructed by the person who wasn't an attorney, and she thought she was okay. She had no idea when her court hearing was, didn't even know there was going to be a court hearing, had no idea what was going on, but thought she had plenty of time to hire an attorney to come take over the mess that had been created. Unfortunately, she waited around too long and the case is dismissed. So, what's going to happen now? Is there recourse? Well, yeah, there is. We can file a brand new case. But whenever you have a Chapter 13 dismissed within a 12-month period before filing and you go to file a second case, you only have protection for 30 days unless somebody files a motion to extend the stay. You have to have a hearing before the judge and you have to explain, this is what happened in the prior case, but this is why we can make this next case, the second one, this is why we can make it work. In her case, we're going to go before the judge and we're going to say, Your Honor, my client was a victim of their realtor and the document preparation specialist, and she thought everything was okay. She really didn't know what she was doing. Case obviously got dismissed. We represent her now. We've explained everything. We're going to make this case work. And we're confident a judge is going to grant it. Does a judge have to grant it? No, they don't. They don't have to, but they usually do. If there's good reason as to why the first case got dismissed and how we can make the second case work, I am confident most bankruptcy judges in North Georgia will allow you to continue in a second case. But let me change up the facts. What if you have two cases dismissed in a 12-month period prior to filing, and now you're coming back for a third try? Well, what are the odds that a third case is going to work? Pretty low. By the way, when you file that third case, you have no protection. Zero. Nada. Not until you file something called a motion to impose the automatic stay. I don't file those. I refer those out to my buddy Stan. He does them. I don't. I don't think they work. I think they're a waste of time. If you can't, if you're taking two shots at it and you're going back for a third in a 12-month period prior to filing, uh, not a good situation. And if you use a document preparation person to prepare like two cases for you in a 12-month period, you might have some difficulty convincing a judge to give you any protection in a third case, because the first go around, you can probably get away with, in almost 99% of cases, of saying, I didn't know. This is what my realtor told me. This is what they told me. I'm a victim. Twice? Come on. Two cases, that's going to be a little bit harder, maybe. But again, there are thousands of rules in bankruptcy, and you got to comply with all of them. It is a terrible, terrible idea to file a case with no attorney. Terrible idea. I get it. There a lot of realtors want to play this game because they think, well, I'm gonna foreclosure is coming, and if the foreclosure takes place, then the person is going to lose the house. So why don't we just slip over here to the document preparer, let them throw up a bankruptcy case real quick to stop the foreclosure, to give us time to complete the sale of the house. blah, 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 blah. Well, number one, yeah, that might work in stopping the foreclosure, but you can't sell anything without permission from the court. And you better make sure the right chapter gets filed and that the case is dismissed before you complete the sale, because there's some issues there. But if the wrong box gets checked and you accidentally are in a Chapter 7 case and there's equity, Chapter 7 trustee is going to want to step in, sell that house, and pay creditors. And if you pop up and say, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to file this Chapter 7 case. All I wanted to do was stop the foreclosure." Too bad. So sad. Chapter 7 trustee is going to sell your house because, well, they would have to. The code says so. Long story short, don't be stupid. Don't go pay good money to a document preparation specialist. And by the way, it's really funny. Whenever people do pay the money, they don't write a check to a document preparation specialist. Do you know why? Because those can be easily traced. They're usually going to do something that's a little bit harder, like Venmo or cash or a blank money order, some other way where the document preparation person thinks they're going to get out of it and thinks they're going to get away with something. Let me tell you something. When you get in the crosshairs of the United States trustee, they're going to find a way to trace anything. And they do take the bankruptcy laws very seriously, and they will prosecute. Absolutely they will. Especially when somebody is victimizing people and really honestly messing up their lives. No, courts and trustees don't have a lot of tolerance for that kind of foolery. Don't do it. If you want some free general information on Chapter 13 and Chapter 7, go to my website, www.kellycanhelp.com/welcome. You can download a free copy of my book. And if you want to consult with my office, give us a call. Send us your information. We'll be happy to talk to you, be happy to review your situation and see if Chapter 13 or Chapter 7 might or might not be a good fit. There's honestly a lot of people I meet with. I tell them, no, this, in your case, your specific set of facts, bad idea. Don't do it. I'll tell you. I'll be upfront with you. Honesty is a core value of my law firm. We are a judgment-free zone. I have the nicest staff on planet Earth, and I have the Google reviews to back it up. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Bankruptcy Podcast. Make sure to visit our website, kellybankruptcy.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Spotify, or via RSS so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you liked this show, you might want to check out our guide to bankruptcy in Georgia, helping people get out of debt. Available at kellycanhelp.com/welcome. Be sure to tune in next week for our next episode.